Experience a world of choice. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more info.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and it's a very wet, rainy Tuesday morning, but I'm loving it. I like it when it rains more so during the middle of the night. I know people like it in the day, but I like it in the night so I can get to the business in the daytime, right? So, and the rain sounds nice and soothing at nighttime. We like those kind of sounds. But I hope everybody's having a great start to their day this morning. I definitely am. I have in studio with me, I have the Kiwanis Club joining me this morning in the first segment, and we are going to be talking about the 43rd Annual Kiwani Bike. It is back, bringing together cyclists, community leaders, and local celebrities. That's you, Susan, when they say local celebrities. It's for an unforgettable ride, all in the support of a great cause. And joining me today in studio to tell us all about the details of Kiwani Bike, our chair of Kiwani Bike 2025, we have Mr. Paul Broussard. We have Kadi, Pentney, and Daniella McGowan, who are past presidents of the Kiwanis Club. And we have the current president, Dr. Grant Davis, also in studio with me this morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today?
Morning. Excellent. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Good to have you here.
Yes.
So we'll get right into it. I know Kiwanis Club does a lot of things in the community. And Katie, I know we've talked to you plenty, at least about what Kiwanis does over the years. So with you, Dr. Grant Davis, if you could give us a bit of an introduction to Kiwanis Club, those who might not know the purpose, what your club does in the community.
I'm honored to represent the Kiwanis Club of Grand Cayman. It's a proud part of an international organization, the Kiwanis International, where we're a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. The Kiwanis Club of Grand Cayman has been active in the Cayman Islands since 1975. For nearly 50 years, we've been nurturing the potential of youth through initiatives rooted in 5 pillars: health, nutrition, education, leadership, and community engagement. One of the most important aspects of our work, though, is leadership development. We invest in our young people through our service leadership programs. So most persons may not be familiar with this, but these are structured programs designed to foster responsibility, teamwork, and lifelong civic engagement. And we begin with kids as early as 6, where we have our K-Kids SLP, which is from age 6 to 11, the Builders Club SLP, which is from age 11 to 14, the Key Clubs, which most persons are familiar with, starts from age 14. And at the university level, we have our Circle K. So presently in the Cayman Islands, we are currently supporting 9 active SLPs across both public and private schools. We have over 200 active Key Clubbers alone. These student-led clubs empower our youth to lead service projects, advocate for change, and grow into future leaders. Our Bike-a-thon is an example of an impactful signature project that we do every year to support our SLPs. The schools that we partner with are the Lighthouse School, Triple C School, St. Ignatius Catholic School, Cayman Academy, Cayman Prep and High School, John Gray High School, Clifton Hunter High School, and UCCI. Through the events like the Bike-a-thon and the programs like our SLP, we're not just helping students, we are shaping leaders. You know, as the saying goes, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. But at Kiwanis, we go one step further. We teach our youth how to keep fishing, to be self-reliant and resilient contributors to the society. We therefore invite you to continue supporting our youth and standing with us as we build a stronger, more compassionate Cayman Islands, one child at a time. In the studio, we have our past president, distinguished past president, Kadi Pentney, who is a result of this program. And I think she's going to tell us a little bit more about the history of the Bike-a-thon.
Sure, thank you. So my history with Key Club was that I was a member for 2 years and then I was the lieutenant governor. That was many years ago, 2003 to 2004. And I started Cayman Prep's Key Club back then. So that was something fun many years ago. But to tell you a bit about Kiwani Bike, so this is our 43rd annual event.
Oh, I don't know what that
which
is. Something's
very
ringing.
exciting.
Okay.
We're going dings, yeah.
Yes.
So it's been going on for many, many years. In the past, we've supported different projects. So NCVO, we donated a bus to Miss Nadine's foster home. But in the more recent years, we've been supporting our service leadership projects, like we were just talking about, programs. And so this year, we're going to support Kiwanis Club, Key Club, and Builders Club. So we're really excited, and I think I'll probably pass on to Paul to share more details about the event specifically.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm excited to be, I guess, taking on the role of coordinating and ensuring that the event turn out to be the success it usually is. I want to thank the president for her confidence in me to kind of, take the wheel on this. So just to give you guys some information about the actual event, as you mentioned, it is the 43rd Annual Kiwani Bike, and it's probably the oldest bike event in the Cayman Islands. I have Googled this several times trying to find something that is beyond or started before the Kiwani Bike.
So you can stand confidently behind that. Yes.
And I just couldn't find anything. So yes, definitely Sunday coming, that is June 8th. It starts early. We're asking for persons to bring their bikes to Spots Dock in Savannah from about 5:36. We will get the bikes loaded into a truck, and the truck will take the bikes to the blowhole in East End. There, we're going to transport the riders via bus. We have 2 buses going to be there. We're going to start off the race from the blowholes at 7 a.m. sharp, and then we'll ride back. It's a fun, scenic ride. It's not a race. So we're going to just take our time, ride, enjoy the ride. We're going to have water stops along the way. Persons can stop, refresh, and continue on the ride. And once we get to the finish, that's at Spots Dock, we're going to just have some prizes to give away. We do have some very nice consolation prizes. We have a very big prize, which is a bike from, I think it's sponsored by Uncle Bill's, the usual sponsor for the big prize. So it's going to be a fun event. We're really excited about the event, and we want persons to come out. We're also partnering up with the Cayman Cycling Club, and those guys are going to be there. They're like the majority of the riders for us right now that we're absolutely looking forward to. We are pretty much sure they're going to turn up. But they're going to be there. We want the public to, if you have a bike, if you have a bicycle, just go online, check out the website, and sign up. And that website, if I can read it out here, is www.kiwanis.ky. And you will find a link to sign up for the bike event. Just click it, fill out the form, and make a pledge. So we're asking for a pledge of $25, and that will get you into the prize draw for the consolation prizes. But any pledge for more than 150 plus, it will be in the big prize draw for the bike. And of course, you're still qualified for the consolation prizes if you pledge 150 or more.
But you'll just be entered into the bigger part of the competition.
Right.
Okay.
So yes, you're qualified for the big draw, but you're still part of the other consolation prizes. So it's going to be a great event. I am excited to be there and to do my best to ensure that we have a successful event. And, want to encourage everybody to sign up and just make this the biggest Kiwani Bike ever.
So this is interesting. I like it. But logistically speaking, I guess I'm a little surprised because when you first started speaking, you said that around 5:36 a.m. you want people to meet at Spots Dock.
Yes.
Bring their bicycles, and you load them into a truck and then take them up to East End, the bikes into some truck. You bring all the cyclists separately on a bus, and you start from the blowholes in East End, and the ride is back to Spots Dock, I'm assuming.
Correct. But of course, the big riders on island, they might just want to ride all the way up to East End because I didn't notice these guys are riding like doing 100 miles on a Sunday morning, and I found that was quite surprising when I heard that. But yes, most of the more seasoned riders are going to ride up there, and perhaps they're going to just come there to the start and line up and just ride back to the finish.
But I like that because it gives them a little bit of a reprieve in that sense that they can relax a minute before the actual event starts.
Absolutely.
And you're helping them logistically to get up to East End, where a lot of people, I'm sure, have complained in the past, right? Oh, I can't get up there, or it's a bit of a... If they're not avid cyclists, it might be a bit of a stretch for them to do that, right?
We make it easy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like
We
that a
make it
lot.
easy. Yeah.
And there's no competition element. Is that right?
No.
Or, okay.
We can't really take that out of the event.
It's hard with athletes.
The more seasoned riders, they're going to say, all right, guys, they might have a competition of their own, but we're not promoting a competition. It's not a race. It's a fun bike ride.
In their heads. Speaking as a former always wannabe professional athlete, it's always in our heads, that competition element. So, okay, some great prizes. What are some of the bike is the big prize, right? What are some of the consolation prizes, if you can share?
I'm going to ask our president to share some of those. I think we have some gift certificates and of the likes.
Yes, so some of the consolation prizes, which the chairperson here will be giving away with a question. We have helmets, we have bike locks and bells for the bicycles, but we also have gift certificates for our spa. We also have gift baskets and other gift certificates and cards. Those are some of the consolation prizes. Quite exciting. And we also have a surprise prize, so when you come, you'll see.
And I think we might be doing a giveaway on the show as well, right? So
Yes.
closer to 8 a.m., closer to around the end of this show segment, we'll be doing a few minutes to 8 a.m., I should say, because we don't want to be late with the news. I always am. We're going to be doing some sort of a giveaway. But with that, I'm going to lead you guys to a commercial break right now. And when we come back, we are going to continue our discussion on the 43rd Annual Kiwani Bike event.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Clara Eden, Certificate of Honor 1870 through 1969. Nurse Clara Eden was an extremely loyal and faithful midwife who traveled to all outer districts to deliver babies. She apparently had a record of the babies she delivered, along with the names of their parents in her first house, which burned down. At that time, she confirmed that she had delivered 1,500 babies, and when she retired, she estimated she had delivered 2,000. She took excellent care of both mother and baby for 9 days at the cost of £2. Nurse Clara was a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She was the only person in Grand Cayman who knew how to do starbread handwork, and in her spare time, she taught a few people how to do it.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. You know, we always get in these conversations during the break, and we almost got caught right there in the convo. I am talking about the 43rd Annual Kiwani Bike event, which is happening on June 8th, and it's going to be starting at, well, really from the blowholes in East End, but they want you to bring your bikes to Spot Stock around 5:36 a.m. They're going to be transporting the bikes over to East End as well as the cyclists. And then you can enjoy a nice, leisurely, not necessarily competitive ride back to Spots Dock. And this is all to raise money for the Kiwanis Club. Now, we spoke a little bit about what the Kiwanis Club is all about, a little bit about the history. We talked a little bit about the event logistics, some information there, how people can sign up, which is at kiwanis.ky, right? So there's an online registration there, but any other way that people can register for this event?
Definitely. You can just show up on the morning of the race, of the ride. Sorry, let me delete that word race. It's not a race. So you can just show up and you can register right there at Spots or at the blowholes in East End. We'll have forms there. You just show up, you just sign up one of the forms, and you're registered.
And we're looking for at least $25 donation to enter the event.
Definitely.
Basically.
So to sign up, if you can pledge $25, that's the minimum. We are asking if you can pledge $150 or more, or any amount you can pledge. Really and truly, there is a pledge form. If you go online, sign up, you can download that form. You can actually take that form and go and seek some sponsorship. So you can ask persons to, sponsor you for the ride. And you can help us raise some funds, actually. So any amount you show up with on the morning when you sign up, we gladly accept that. So, but, while we have some time before the actual ride, help us raise some funds.
And I always like to call out OC on the show now. He's getting used to it in the mornings, I think. And sometimes he'll call me like, you talked about me. Yes, OC. So do you have somebody like OC joining you on these these bike events? It's almost like a bike-a-thon in a sense.
Yeah, when we said celebrities, we had persons like OC in mind.
Okay.
So if he's not there, he's going to disappoint us.
So we're calling him out for sure.
Definitely.
OC, you already know that you're up at all hours in the morning cycling, so you might as well join this for the Kiwanis Club. Give back. I'm putting him on the spot completely. I know he's going to call me later and be like, all right, Kathy. He might even call in before 8 a.m. because we're doing a giveaway, right? We're saying that for anybody who is able to sign up 2 people, it could be themselves. You're able to sign up 2 people. If you can call us, you can win a prize. So remember, the sign up is at kiwanis.ky. That's KIWANIS.ky. You can go there and sign yourself up or sign two other people up. Give us a call before 8 a.m. and let us know that you did sign up. You can also be eligible to win a prize If you've pledged $200 or more, show us a little bit of proof and you can get us, or you can win a prize. So the number is to call to win the prize. You can either WhatsApp, call us at 925-3261. You can call 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can call the toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. So if you want to win a prize given by the Kiwanis Club this morning, you'd have to sign up 2 people to the Kiwani Bike, which is taking place June 8th, or you can pledge $200 or more. You got to give us a little bit of proof. Call us before 8 a.m. and you could win a prize. Now, I got a question. So if I'm interested, but I'm not a cyclist, I don't want to wake up at that time, whatever it is, but I want to pledge, I want to support, am I able just to go online, sign up, pledge, but not show up?
Absolutely. So if you go to the same website, kiwanis.ky, and you go, how can we help? You can find lots of ways to donate, whether an online transfer, you can write a check and put it in the mail, you can do it through giftcertificates.com, any of those ways you can donate. And in your description of your donation, you could say Kiwani Bike, and then we would give the funds towards the key clubs and other programs that we're supporting with this event.
Okay, nice. Now, I understand that the funds being raised are going towards a number of the development projects or the leadership projects within Kiwanis Club, right?
Yes.
But is there any particular project you're trying to focus on?
Well, there are several projects within the service leadership programs. We want to put a lot of emphasis in our fundraising to our newest SLP, which is our K Kids, and this is at Lighthouse School. And as you know, there are special needs persons there, so we're really excited about having that.
Okay, all right, excellent. Now, when it comes to the sponsors and putting the event together, getting the support from the community, tell us how that all works. I know it's hard. Danielle, we're all looking at you. I guess it's your time to shine now.
Yeah, I mean, we all have some great sponsors. The event would not be possible without it. So it's just good to work with, local companies together. So this year, we're just grateful to just going to go through our sponsors this year. Our main sponsor this year is CIBC. Then we have Brit K, Majestic Tours, and Lemmy Truck. They both help us get up to the blowholes on the day, get the bikes and the cyclers up there. We have Port Authorities on board this year. Definitely Cayman Cycling Club. They've been really helpful in helping us get the word out, and they're just also great in getting the cyclists out there. It's great to see them out every year as their groups. Compass Media, Red Cross, of course, Radio Cayman.
Yeah.
Uncle Bill's grateful every year they come on board to be a sponsor of our bikes, just dedicated sponsor. And then we have Explore Cayman this year. So yeah, without our sponsors, the event wouldn't be able to take place, and we're just so grateful to just come together as a community and just offer this to everyone.
And of course, let me add that we're still in that phase of seeking persons or organizations, businesses to sponsor. So we're still sending out requests, asking persons to, just come on board, sponsor. It's a really great cause. I believe when you help the youth, you're helping the future. And so whatever you do today will have a lasting impact on society. So it's a great event to support. We're still seeking other persons to come up. We want to make this the biggest event, raise the most amount of money possible. And I think our president had a very ambitious goal of, was it 25,000 or 40,000?
Very ambitious, 25,000.
Yes.
So apart from just focusing on our Lighthouse School K Kids, we are one of the only clubs in the world that actually have our SLP program. So we are in the schools every day, actually.
And what does SLP stand for?
Service leadership programs. So these are developmental programs that we have in the 9 schools I mentioned before. Mm-hmm. And so we are one of the only service clubs in the world that actually have these programs. So the monies go to support all of these SLPs. It helps to fund their meetings, because they have meetings. It also goes to fund whatever projects they have, because they give back to the community. They're always giving back. So it helps to fund those projects. When they have to go abroad for their international conventions, we have to pay those trips. And what's interesting about the Kiwanis Club is that we're actually a part of the Florida district. So a lot of our kids have to go up to Florida for training, and it's quite expensive. So a lot of money is actually needed. So 25,000 has actually been it's actually less than what we've spent before in facilitating these students.
When you say they'll go up to Florida for training, what kind of training are they experiencing?
Well, we have two main conventions. We have the district convention and we have our international convention for them. So they get leadership training. They also have networking. So they get to meet people from all over the world, other students also in service, and also persons who are in our division, the Florida division. It's very good for the youth, and that's why we push it so much. They get a lot of exposure.
I love that idea. I think it's such a great opportunity for the children in Cayman to be able to go off island.
I went when I was in high school.
Yeah. So what was that experience like for at least for you, Katie? I was going to ask Daniella. I don't know if you did the same thing.
It was incredible. I mean, first of all, coming from a small island, and then you go to this convention and there's thousands of people there, right? So you go into these different workshops. So you might go, if you're training to be the president, you might go into the president workshop or the secretary workshop. Or if you're a member, you may go into, a fundraising workshop. And it just exposes you to different ideas that you may not have thought of, and just to see, oh, wow, you guys raised $10,000 doing this. And it just really inspires the members to do more in Cayman's community by getting, exposure and just meeting other excited people who love to give back to their community.
So it kind of opened your mind and taught you different things, what you could do in Cayman. You brought those ideas back.
Yes, and it makes you just feel that, life is so much bigger than, just you,
Right.
Just realizing that there's so much that you can do. And I really don't think I would have done so many things in my life if it wasn't for Key Club. So it really taught me leadership and being confident and, public speaking and meeting new people that aren't just like you. And so it was a great program to be a part of.
That's awesome. I love that. I wish something like that was available when I was little. And maybe there was, but I just wasn't paying attention. Maybe. But I would have jumped on it for sure.
Yeah. I'll make my
public
kids do it.
Yes, as a child, absolutely. I would have been all over that.
And to even add to that, they actually are representatives of the Cayman Islands.
Yes.
Even though we're in the 2025, you'd be surprised what the kids tell you, how they're actually viewed. So they actually act as ambassadors for the Cayman Islands.
Right. And so there are opportunities out there for children. It's just get them involved.
Absolutely.
Because you never know what's out there. Okay, we got to wrap up. So we didn't get a call. So, anybody out there who's looking to win a prize this morning, if you're able to sign up 2 people to the Kiwani Bike event, which is taking place June 8th, go to Kiwanis.ky, sign up 2 people. It could be yourself, or if you can pledge $200 or more. Give us a call in the next, I'm going to say the next minute, guys, 925-3261, 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, or 949-8037. We only have about a minute, so I'm going to ask, I think you, Paul, if you want to give us those key details about the Kiwani Bike event.
Yes, just to remind you guys, this is the 43rd Annual Kiwani Bike event. We want it to be the biggest bike event ever. So please sign up. It's on June 8th. That's Sunday, June 8th. The race or the ride, I'm deleting that word race. The ride starts from 7 a.m. from the blowholes in East End. Of course, if you need transportation to get up there, you can come to Spots Dock. Bring your bike there from about 5:30, 6 a.m. We're going to put it on a truck, take it up there. You can get on one of the buses that we'll have there. Go up to East End and just ride back. So once you get back to Spots Dock, we're going to have a nice gathering. We're going to just give out some prizes and surprises. And it's going to be a great, great event. It's going to be a great time spending with like-minded individuals. We want to say, very importantly, we're sort of partnering with the cycling club, and we're trying to also use this opportunity to raise awareness about road safety and cycling in Cayman. So come out if you have an interest in helping that cause. Be there. Let's make this something that really resonates with society, and we can bring about awareness for safer use of the road for all cycling, cyclers, drivers, walkers, pedestrians, whatever you call them. Let's make the road safe.
Sure, it's for everybody. Although as a driver, sometimes I don't think that way, but it is for everybody, absolutely. And it's a great time right now, especially to share the important message of road safety. So Again, you can go to kiwanis.ky if you're looking to sign up or want to find out more information about the event. And I'm sure you have social media pages where people can find out some information as well. Thank you for joining me this morning on The Buzz, and I hope you have a great event coming June 8th. Good to have you guys on this morning, and we're going to go to the, no problem, we're going to go to the 8 a.m. news, and then I'll be back with listeners at 8:15.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time now is 8 o'clock, brought to you with the kind compliments of Foster's.
It's time to start preparing for this year's hurricane season, and Foster's has the essentials you need to weather a storm.
Stock up on canned goods, non-perishable foods, water, health and first aid items, pet supplies, flashlights, and other hurricane kit essentials.
Start preparing now using our online hurricane guide and emergency checklist. Just head to fosters.ky for more info. You can also follow us at Foster's Cayman on Facebook and Instagram for helpful tips throughout the season.
Foster's, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman-Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. A woman will soon stand trial for blackmail and pretending to be a police officer. Radio Cayman's Genevieve Ebanks brings us this report.
Keisha Karen McIntosh appeared before the Grand Courts last Friday, where she pled not guilty to charges of impersonating a police officer and blackmail. According to prosecutors, on the 31st of October 2023, Ms. McIntosh contacted a woman known to her, falsely claiming to be a police officer, allegedly in an attempt to intervene in a dispute. Under Section 99 of the Penal Code, impersonating a public officer carries a maximum sentence of 4 years imprisonment. McIntosh also faces a charge under Section 259 of the Penal Code for blackmail, accused of making an unwarranted demand of $500 for financial gain. If convicted, she could face an additional 14 years in prison. Her trial is scheduled to take place in October. Genevieve Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
In other court news, a 34-year-old man facing charges of indecency against a minor is set to stand trial this week. The case is scheduled to open before the jury later today. The defendant, who's currently incarcerated for previous offenses, denies the allegations. To safeguard the identity of the victim, no identifying details will be disclosed. Investigations continue into ongoing property rental scams involving fraudulent rental properties being advertised on social media and classifieds websites. 3 men, a 64-year-old and a 21-year-old of Boddentown and a 28-year-old of Georgetown, have been arrested on suspicion of obtaining property by deception. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service continues to urge the public to exercise caution if you see an offer that appears too good to be true, and avoid sending any money in relation to property rentals without first verifying the legitimacy of the offer. The public should be, quote, especially wary of viewing deposits where you're asked to pay before being allowed to view a property. The Department of Counseling Services is honored with the Moments of Magic Award at the annual Deputy Governor's Employee of the Year Award ceremony.
To have this acknowledged in this very tangible way is such an important milestone for our team.
DCS provides counseling, positive parenting, substance misuse rehabilitation, advocacy, education, and prevention, among other things, free to the public. And it includes 3 agencies: the Counseling Center, the Family Resource Center, and Caribbean Haven Residential Center. Director of DCS, Judith Seymour, tells Radio Cayman she's very proud of her team's, quote, dedication and commitment.
Cayman is a very special place to me, and it gives me great pride to lead such a diverse team of professionals who demonstrate such compassion, care, and concern for the residents of my home each day.
Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson.
DCS has had a profound impact on our community through their various initiatives. They have consistently tailored their services to the diverse needs of our community, utilizing a strength-based approach to enhance well-being.
For more information, head to dcs.gov.ky. And we sing. That's a snippet there, what folks can expect at tonight's We Sing concert, hosted by John Gray High School. The event, open to the public, will be in the Performance Hall starting at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are $3 at the door. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. The United Nations Human Rights Commissioner has become the latest official to call for an independent investigation into reported mass killings at US-backed aid distribution centres. In the third such incident in 3 days, at least 27 people are reported to have been shot by Israeli troops. The Israeli military said its forces opened fire on a group who deviated from the designated access route to the centres. Ukraine's security service says its agents have carried out an early morning operation to sabotage the strategic bridge linking Russia to occupied Crimea. It claims the bridge's underwater pillars were damaged. There's been no independent confirmation. Exit polls following a snap presidential election in South Korea suggest the Democratic Party's Lee Jae-myung has won. He's predicted to get just over half of the vote, more than 10 percentage points ahead of his main rival. He'll take office as soon as the result is confirmed. The Dutch government looks set to collapse after the far-right leader, Geert Wilders, withdrew his party's support. The governing coalition was formed last year following inconclusive elections. Mr Wilders demands a tougher crackdown on immigration and an immediate ban on asylum seekers. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, sight screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman. Where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The Cayman Turtle Center's Turtle Crawl 5K is back, Sunday, June 8th, starting from the Cayman Turtle Center at 6:30 a.m. Registration is $25 CI and includes a race shirt and a goodie bag. All funds raised will support conservation of green sea turtles in the Cayman Islands. Corporate discounts are available by emailing info@turtle.ky. Register now for the Turtle Crawl 5K at turtlecrawl.ky. Proudly sponsored by Stingray Media, Double M Distribution, Health City, and Gatorade.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Brickade, where people come first.
Top of the morning to you. Let's take a look at what's happening with the weather conditions. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 99%. The barometric pressure, 29.94 inches and steady. The wind is northeast at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate cloudiness and showers over the northwest Caribbean are expected to persist over the next 24 hours, enhanced by an upper-level trough. Periods of this activity will extend across the Cayman area, contributing to cloudy and rainy conditions at times. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area, moving towards the west. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and some thunder. You gotta get an umbrella. Showers will be locally heavy at times and possible flooding in low-lying areas are expected. Temperatures today will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts, especially in and around heavy showers. And seas will be rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet. A small craft warning is in effect. Tonight, partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. And temperatures will fall to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots. And seas will be rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet for tonight as well. Small craft warning is in effect for tonight also. Today's low tide will occur this morning at 12 minutes after 11. High tide this evening at 5:50. Low tide tonight at 11:41. The sun will set this evening at 6:59 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:47. And the outlook is calling for partly cloudy skies along with isolated showers, fresh southeasterly winds and seas from Wednesday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Britke. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britke, where people come first.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets. Ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Are you feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed out, or suicidal and need support? Call 1-800-534-6463. K-Mind, Mental Health Helpline. It's okay to ask for help. K-Mind Mental Health Helpline, available from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. It's free and confidential support and guidance on your emotional and psychological health.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning on this wet, cloudy, rainy day in the Cayman Islands. Let's take a look at the road conditions as you make your way to your final destination. If you're coming from the east on Shamrock Road, Rex Crichton Boulevard, traffic is bumper to bumper. Expect delays. Employers expect your employees, or at least some of them, to be late this morning as traffic is a mess out there. On the Crew Road area, heading to Georgetown, slow-moving traffic. Heading east, moderate flow of traffic. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic coming off of the Linford-Pearson Highway and Agnes Way. On the Linford-Pearson Highway, steady traffic. As we look to downtown Georgetown, Edward Street flowing moderately. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is at a moderate pace in both directions. From the West Bay 4-way, stop flowing at a good pace. Different story on the Estelle Tibbetts Highway as traffic is steady coming off of there and continuing on to Northtown Road, Industrial Park area, moderate flow of traffic. Roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions, and please drive with your lights on. Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic, and that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller. I didn't know we were starting already. Susan caught me by surprise, but that's all right. I hope everybody is enjoying a beautiful drive into work today. I don't know if it's still raining out there. It is raining out there. Susan said it's ugly out there. So if you haven't left your house as yet, bring a little rain jacket, an umbrella, some wellies. I guess that's what people call them, wellies, boots. I just wear my high heels. I'm good. Don't have to worry about it. Closed toe. We're not getting wet. So have a safe drive into work. I want to say school this morning, but I think school has started already. Now, in this segment of The Buzz, we are talking all about Leadership Cayman and a project that they're doing with the National Trust. So, Leadership Cayman is all about shaping leaders and making a difference. And their latest adventure proves it. They're bringing an electrifying scavenger hunt to life where teams race across the Cayman Islands. Well, Grand Cayman, I guess, solving riddles and uncovering treasures while connecting with the island's rich heritage through the National Trust. Joining us today in studio in this segment to share more are Dr. Genevieve Philip-Durham, Leadership Cayman Class of 2025, and Project Lead Pearl Moroka, Leadership Cayman Class of 2025, and also Project Lead Ashvin Murugesu, National Trust Cayman Islands chairperson as well. Good morning, everybody, and welcome.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
No problem. Good to have you. Ashvin just snuck in through the door. The rain got him a little bit. I can see this. I did. And the fact that I've noticed that the rain got you a little bit.
Yeah.
That's okay. Good morning. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Good. Excellent.
I'm grateful for the rain this morning.
I'm grateful for it when I'm sleeping and I don't have to drive through it or walk my dog or anything like that. I'm like, rain at night. That's the kind of person I am. I like it when it's dry out. I like it when the sun's out. So, but we can't always get that, and we know that we need a little bit of rain, right? So how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Yeah. So you are Leadership Cayman Class of 2025. I guess cohorts, we could say.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Leadership Cayman happens every year. We know that, right? It's a big program that the Chamber of Commerce puts on every year. I said I'm going to join it. Every year Will's like, what's going on, Kathy? I know. No, really, I've always been interested, and he's always tried to convince me as well, which I don't need that much convincing for it because I think it's a great program. But to start off, if we could get a bit of a background on Leadership Cayman, what it's about, a little bit of the history, if you do know it, but share with us what Leadership Cayman is all about.
So you've shared quite a bit about it. So
you
know quite a lot. It's a program that started since 2009, and it's very intensive 6-month program where we have the opportunity to engage in dialogue with subject matter experts on issues of politics, government, culture, history, technology. We cover a number of themes throughout the 6-month period. And we do have the opportunity to do tours, engage with our classmates who are all leaders themselves from very diverse backgrounds. So it's really an immersive experience and one, of course, designed to hone our leadership skills.
Yeah. Right. So 6 months, that's a long time.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Now, how much of your own time do you have to put into the Leadership Cayman program?
a large portion of it.
I'm glad
Ashvin
said this because he's alumni, so he's been through the program before. So I'm glad that he's saying that. I didn't want to admit it. I was like, oh, it's a bit demanding, but it's great. You know, it's a bit of commitment, but it's quite fruitful.
Okay.
So we do have bi-weekly seminars, but outside of that, of course, you have the logistics around planning the seminars, planning the class project, which is a signature event associated with the Leadership Cayman program, and of course the networking with your colleagues who are in the class. Can't go throughout 6 months without.
And we're going to be talking about that class project today,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we get into it, we're gonna just delve into a little bit more about Leadership Cayman. So what made all of you, and Ashvin, as I understand, you're past alumni, right?
Yeah,
but what made you all decide to sign up for Leadership Cayman? What was the catalyst there?
For me personally, I was at that point in my life, in my career, where I just needed a shift, you know? It was just that next level that I needed to move up. I was working a job that was basically 9 to 5 before, and it literally was just me going into the office, doing what I need to do, and getting home. And I just needed a little bit more of a challenge and a kicker in my professional career. And so I really thought about, okay, what do I want to contribute meaningfully in my life to this world, in the community? And I'm like, I have to do more. I have to find ways of doing more. So, you know, I just looked at what, you know, possibilities there are on island. When I stumbled upon this program, I was like, okay, this is great. This is going to stretch me. It's going to give me a bit of challenge. And it's probably one thing that I need to do for myself, to be out there, because I wasn't on the forefront. I speak a lot, but I wasn't networking as much. I wasn't out there as much. And I thought this would be the perfect program to actually get that exposure, you know, being in the next phase of my life. But
and has it been that perfect program?
Oh, my goodness. It's been night and day compared to my life last year compared to now. It's completely switched my life around. I can see it every day. I'm stretched mentally, emotionally, physically, but I'm so grateful because I can feel the growth. I can feel that I'm developing and growing and maturing into this leader that I want to see myself, and a different kind of, you know, unique leader, because there's no blueprint, right, to being a leader. And so I really see myself creating that path for myself and the kind of leader that I want to be, and doing it authentically in my own way. So yeah, it's been very fruitful.
You're saying so many things that I want to ask leading questions out of. What kind of a leader do you want to be?
I want to be a leader that kind of is close to the people. So I don't want to lead in a position where I feel people have to necessarily fear me, or I'm not approachable, or I'm intimidating. I want to lead in a pack where I'm amongst the people. You know, I want people to kind of resonate with who I am and the things that I have interest in. And I also want to show people that I have equally as much interest in finding out about who they are, you know, what things they're into, what they like. And not just like, you know, focusing on the task at hand, because we all can do our jobs really well. But at the end of the day, is this our purpose in life, you know? So I want to be that leader, I want to be the leader of the people, among the people.
Can you tell us what you do in your professional career?
It's going to sound very strange, but I'm actually in finance.
Doesn't sound strange at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought with just the little intro that I just gave now, but I'm in finance. I work in audit. I work at More in Cayman. I recently just joined them this year, and also in that role, in my capacity in that role, I'm growing quite a bit, and it's been so amazing. It's been so amazing, like the amount of, you know, just knowledge, the learning that I've had to encounter, the networking that I'm doing. It's so vastly different to what I used to. Well, I used to do the same kind of job last year, but with just being behind the desk. Now I'm out there a lot more, so it's becoming. Yeah, it's becoming, it's.
You're a lot more client facing.
Yeah, I'm client facing, but I'm also like business developing at the same time. So I'm getting to actually contribute meaningfully to the bottom line of the business, right? Going out there and basically finding business to also contribute into this growth path that I'm on. So
it's interesting because I think what just really stuck out to me from your experience and why you decided to join Leadership Cayman, it seems that it's more of it's innate for you to just find something to perform at your best. So it's, to me, I would assume you're a bit of a high performer and you're looking for these challenges just to be able, which is a great thing. That's a great quality to have, just to be able to look for these challenges to grow yourself. And a lot of us want that. a lot of us don't necessarily see how we can do that, or believe that we can do that, or know a path that we can take to be able to develop ourselves that way. So it's good that you found an outlet in Cayman, not being from here, and looking for a way that you can kind of get more involved, challenge yourself, grow yourself. So I think it's a beautiful thing to hear with yourself. So got more follow-up questions for you, but we're gonna move on to Genevieve here. I'd like to hear about your experience and why you decided to join Leadership Cayman.
Several reasons, but I think quite similar to Pearl. I'm an academic, so much of what I have done for the past 10 years has been centered around my academic work. So being able to I do my research and I also do administration. So it's just moving between those two spaces, but still centered around my academic research with whatever I'm doing. So being able to step into a space where you have that side of it, honing your leadership skills, not as you go on the job, but in a scenario where it's context-based, context-specific, getting to understand and learn more about the Cayman Islands in a structured and formal way. And having not had the time to do anything like this for the past 10 years, it was important for me to just claim, as you said, 6 months, it's a long time where you're expected in academia administration to just be going. The work just slows down, it never stops. And so stopping to be able to do something else that I get to build a different side of my professional portfolio, that was very important to me, and here I am.
I love it. Well, in 6 months, it shows the commitment that you have to have.
Yes.
It's not just a 1 day, 2 day, or a weekend course.
Yeah.
It involves a lot of layers, a lot of time,
Exactly.
a lot of understanding, a lot of different layers to peel in that sense. So I appreciate the time and commitment it takes to be involved in a program such as Leadership Cayman.
Yep.
All right, now Ashwin, we're gonna go to you. Ashvin, I'm sorry. We're gonna find out what your reason is as a past alumni of Leadership Cayman. What made you join?
Yeah, I think it was kind of the perfect program for me because, I came out to Cayman in 2021 after spending almost 10 years in the UK, and it was honestly, and I cannot stress it enough, it was the perfect program for me, to get back into Cayman, to kind of see what's going on, see all the changes that had happened over the course of those 10 years, and then get a good baseline to be okay, this is what, this is where we are, this is what we're dealing with, and these what problems we have and what's been the success story. Because I don't know how much maybe all the listeners know, but you have these individual seminars which are on different aspects of Cayman, and they're spread out across these 6 months. And you get allocated one seminar and you have to go and research that topic, find leaders in the space in Cayman on that topic. And
Can you give an example?
So I had to do tourism, for instance.
Okay.
And part of that, you have to organize a tour. So you have to go visit a site. And then you bring 3 representative people from that industry into your seminar, and then they have a Q&A with all of the class. So ours was cruise and stay over tourism, which is what was previously quite a hot topic.
It still is.
Well, we had a vote, so I don't know how much of a hot topic. Anyway, we obviously had a very spirited debate on the merits of cruise versus stay over tourism in our seminar, right? So it was, good, especially from my own perspective of being away for so long. I was very much okay, I can see, I'm getting an unbiased view. Well, maybe not unbiased, but I'm getting a view of either side, right? So I could kind of make my own decision based on that. So, no, I thought it was great. My previous manager, she had just completed the program and she recommended me to do the program, and I thought it was amazing. And it definitely gave me the skills and confidence to take on this role at National Trust as well. I don't think I would have been able to, I definitely feel a lot more confident having done Leadership Cayman to move into the chairman of the National Trust. So
which leads me into my next question. So how has it shaped you as a leader?
The major thing is the self-confidence in myself to make decisions and to know, you start with this I don't know how to describe it, but it's a seminar where you're almost doing a fact-finding mission on yourself. We had ours in the BRAC, and like you find out what kind of leader you are. So that really, took away a lot of self-doubt as to like, is the way I'm thinking about this right? It's like, no, everyone thinks about it a different way, but you like, as long as you're making decisions, within the right framework, then like, or with a specific outcome, which is going to help everyone, that kind of, it gave me the skills I needed to like kind of have those questions and question yourself and be able to improve yourself.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Genevieve? How has it shaped you as a leader?
I'm an introvert, so networking is not high on our priority list. But having to do much of that has been helpful, and just getting back in a space where you are compelled to network, to build community with others, and for that to translate into what you do day to day, having the opportunity to just relax, have a conversation, make the time, because we are so busy, as Pearl rightfully said. You can't get so busy and bogged down with work. Just pausing and having that opportunity to communicate with others in your daily line of work, and just prioritizing the human side of leadership and the empathy, leading with EQ and empathy, and being more aware of your surroundings, leading with more self-awareness. I think those are some of the things I try to take away from this experience.
I think that's an interesting point, especially leading with more empathy and EQ, which is your emotional intelligence, right? Because often, I think when we would think of a leader, at least maybe a couple decades ago, we would think of leadership and it would be almost more authoritarian, almost more just commanding. Yeah. And that's not necessarily what leadership is. It is a style, but there's so many other styles out there, and you don't have to be an authoritarian in order to get something done or execute on a project or lead people, whatever it might be. So it's very interesting that you've realized the empathy and EQ, how you can lead with that.
Sounds like you'd be perfect.
Because you're a great listener. You're a great listener, and leading is also about listening. So you'd be great.
Yeah.
Pearl, what about you? How has it shaped you as a leader?
Yeah, for me it's similar to Genevieve. I think also just being exposed to our classmates, them coming from different industries, different parts, different countries, different, parts in life, and being able to kind of like collectively work together on things, and seeing different perspectives, and also appreciating that people will work very differently from how you work.
Yes.
And you have to allow them the space and the room to be able to do that. I think that's been something that's been meaningful for me to kind of like learn. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so and in my line of work, we have like a set way of work and a process in which things need to run.
You're an audit, Pearl.
Yeah, exactly.
We know.
So I'm well within the lines. I am definitely in the box. Yes. And so to work with people that are vastly different from that has been something that's been like kind of, okay, I have to step back now and allow people the space to be able to do it, and it gets done at the end of the day. So yeah,
right. As long as it gets done.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to go to our first commercial break right now, but when we come back, we are going to continue our discussion on Leadership Cayman.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are speaking about Leadership Cayman and their scavenger hunt in partnership with the National Trust. In studio with me, I have Dr. Genevieve Philip-Durham, Leadership Cayman Class of 2025 Project Lead. We have Pearl Moroka, Leadership Cayman Class of 2025 Project Lead, and we have Ashvin Murugesu.
That was
almost
close
perfect.
enough. Oh. It was like almost 90%.
Okay. I think as we go, it'll probably get better and better.
I'm just going to stick with Ashvin.
Yeah, that works.
National
That
Trust
works, yeah.
Cayman Islands chairperson and past alumni of Leadership Cayman. Now we're talking first about Leadership Cayman before we get into the actual scavenger hunt. And I was asking you a little bit about your experience and some leadership questions. And I want to know, I'm going to start, I think, back to you now, Ashvin. Has your definition or perspective of leadership changed since you joined the program?
I think so. I think, similar to what you were saying before the break, like we have an impression in our mind of what a leader is. I think everyone has like a default impression, and I think that's different for everyone. And so I think one of the important parts of Leadership Cayman, it shows you that like all of those leadership styles may be valid under like certain circumstances, right? So some might be objectively not great, like an authoritarian, hard man kind of leadership style. But then like under certain circumstances that does work and it is successful, right? So it definitely it's shown me that like the validity of different leadership styles, I think, in short, is what I wanted to say.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that. What about you, Genevieve? What do you think? Has it
changed? Probably not. I guess it comes down to time and space and understanding what that looks like regardless of where I am in the Caribbean. I love working in the Caribbean. I love seeing much of what we experience day to day begins and ends with leadership, whether it's political leadership, whether it's in a program like this, whether it's education. So just being able to see how that can evolve depending on the space that you're in and being able to be adaptable, amenable, and how you contribute to that, whether or not you're in a position of leadership, just seeing yourself as someone being able to contribute to movement in a positive way. I think that's the core of leadership, regardless of where you are, but also really, really gaining an appreciation for what that looks like in the Cayman context and how it compares to other spaces in the region.
I like that. How can you be an asset to a situation?
Exactly.
Almost?
Yep.
No matter that situation that you're in,
yep.
role that you're in. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pearl, what about you? Has your definition or perspective of leadership changed?
Yeah, similar to Genevieve. Not much has changed. I think it's just reinforced the idea that you have to be authentically you in the leadership and not try and copy somebody or be, a replica of somebody else. But it's also, for me, identifying leaders in like people or spaces where you don't necessarily ideally think would be leadership or considered leadership. While we're obviously on this program, we're working with people from different kind of backgrounds, also different age groups, right? So you're seeing very young, leaders in the program as well, and more senior individuals as well. And it's just interesting to see the dynamic and the collaboration across the age, spectrum as well. And saying, okay, this person probably is naturally born a leader, but then in some instances, you can develop to become a leader, right?
Now they say there's no natural born leaders.
Is that what they say? Yeah, so it's just been interesting to see that you can actually authentically just reinforce yourself and basically hone in your natural skills, and also just stay firm on being authentically yourself and being that leader, you know, and not trying to be somebody else or recreate the kind of person you are. But yeah.
Okay. Now, some people might not understand how Leadership Cayman may benefit the local kind of businesses in the community. Can you tell us how that relationship works there? What's the benefit of a program like Leadership Cayman to the businesses within the Cayman Islands?
I would say it's basically the best way to see how you can add value to local businesses and local companies, because as we run the seminars, basically a key theme or key question that comes up in every seminar is how can we get involved, right? So I'll give an example. When we did the seminar on sustainability, and we were talking about the waste management and the dump, you know, a lot of the questions were like, okay, so what small ways can we learn and implement on a daily basis within our personal spaces, at home, within our corporate environments, in the offices, you know, to kind of like curb some of these issues that we have with the dump, and being more sustainable and applying more sustainable mindset and teaching others to apply a sustainable mindset, you know, in our daily lives. And so that's in effect, you know, meaningful contribution that we're making to the island and our, you know, our lives here, but also in businesses to kind of be that voice and to say, instead of, you know, having this much of like trash every day, maybe we could implement something differently where we have like maybe recycling bins, or there's these machines that you can buy that basically do the composting for you and the recycling for you, you know. So those are kind of like small ways to kind of, you know, add value. And also while we are collaborating and working with these small businesses, we're also asking the questions about how can we help you, give you more exposure in the thing that you are, you know, advertising or marketing or putting yourself out there for. And so with those questions comes ways of like spreading the word. I'm also a leader. I'm also a mentor for Cayman Finance Lead Program. So I have a mentee who's in high school and he's really keen and interested in being an entrepreneur. And I'm nowhere near being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
But through this process and this program, I've been able to network and link with some really interesting entrepreneurs. We went to a company called Primitive Greens. They do hydroponic farming, and they farm lettuce and mushrooms. Really incredible work out of a container in a vertical kind of garden. It's incredible to see.
It is.
And it's just phenomenal how they've just grown this business. It's been, hardly 4 years. And just to hear the story and resonate with the story, and then also to say to my mentee, I'm not a business person, but I can really connect you with some people that I've recently just been introduced to that are so incredible in what they do, and being able to kind of, you know,
make those connections.
Yeah, make the connections between young, enthusiastic, really keen and excited, you know, youth members that are looking for opportunities and a way in which they can actually cultivate their lives in being entrepreneurs, and to see somebody else who has done it in a very unique and interesting way. I mean, this guy is young, like this farmer. His name is Cody. Shout out to Cody. And he's young, and he studied computer sciences, you know, and to think now he's into farming is like something that's, you can't even imagine, right? So yeah.
But I guess that's part of him being authentically himself and following what he likes, what drives him.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah.
Interesting. So one of the big projects, or one of the main aims of Leadership Cayman is a class project that you work on, right? Nope. So one of the big projects that you are doing, or for the 2025 class, is the scavenger hunt in collaboration with the National Trust, correct?
Yep.
All right, so tell us how this idea came about, which Genevieve, I'm going to give that one to you.
So part of the onboarding process for the program, you have to indicate a cause that you're interested in. So it wasn't just Pearl and I unilaterally deciding. It was a group decision. A number of our classmates selected one of the causes as the National Trust, and that would have included sites across Grand Cayman as well as the sister islands. So we went with what the majority decided. And in having the conversation with National Trust about public education and sensitization, we had the idea to do the scavenger hunt. For me, a bit selfishly, I have seen and observed it's not just a Cayman problem, but a Caribbean problem where people, they live, but they don't intertwine, they don't mix, they don't take the time to understand and appreciate the space. And you say, what do you love about Cayman? Have you been to East End? Have you been? No. I love the Caribbean. Where have you been? Cayman Islands. No, that you have not seen. So these are some of my personal challenges that, you're always thinking about how you reconcile that with getting people to really appreciate the spaces that they inhabit and that they occupy, and to give back, as Pearl mentioned, not just extracting. So this is how it came about. We decided that we had the conversation with Ashvin and decided it's a good way for people to see and understand the mission of the National Trust, which I'm sure Ashvin will elaborate on a bit more, but the conservation efforts and just seeing and understanding more about culture and heritage and natural built environment. And that's where we are now.
I'm just gonna say Genevieve is underselling herself,
Yeah,
because we were in a brainstorming session, and Genevieve connects by Zoom like 2 minutes late, and then she goes, "Why don't we just do a scavenger hunt?" And we're all like, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense." So while it was a group decision to select National Trust, Genevieve was like the brainchild of the scavenger hunt. So.
Well, as a leader, she's leading from behind right now.
Exactly, yeah.
With that,
Leading
yes.
Humble leadership.
Giving merit to the whole team. So we're going to get into a little bit more with the National Trust involvement. We're going to go to our next commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more from the National Trust side with the scavenger hunt.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking all about Leadership Cayman and their partnership with the National Trust for a scavenger hunt that Leadership Cayman has initiated. And Ashvin, if you can tell us what the partnership is with Leadership Cayman and the National Trust, how did you guys get roped into the scavenger hunt part of this?
Willingly roped in, probably, I would say. So, I mean, I guess it's speaking to the benefit of Leadership Cayman, right? Obviously, through the network that I had of Leadership Cayman, Pearl and Genevieve approached me and was like, would you be interested in, being essentially the benefactor of this class project for this year? And I was, of course, very excited because I knew exactly what that entailed. And then we came up with the idea of the scavenger hunt, and I think the National Trust is the perfect organization to partner with for a scavenger hunt, because we have all these properties across the island and we have all these resources that, speak to Cayman's natural and built heritage. And, it just all made sense. So yeah, we're all very excited. I told the team about it, and everyone was very excited and thought, oh, that's cool. Maybe it can be an annual thing. I hope. Let's see how this one goes. But yeah, basically that's kind of how it all came about.
Okay. Now, Genevieve, since you are the brainchild, as Ashvin did claim you are,
yes,
the
that is
scavenger
correct.
hunt.
Yes, that's correct.
Why a scavenger hunt? What's the aim of what you're trying to do here?
Public education and sensitization. As I mentioned, I find it a bit problematic that people would feel comfortable to occupy a space and not really appreciate or understand everything there is to. And my personal vision and my personal passion aligns well with what the National Trust does. So being able to go through all the districts where the National Trust has a number of sites, whether conservation sites, heritage sites, historic artifacts, however you may. That was important, that persons have the opportunity to go all the way from West Bay to East End to North Side and to experience and to see some of that, including us, because for some of us, when we did our mock around the island, there were a number of sites that we had not been to, So I think that is very, very important that persons are able to participate, and it will be fun, but it's also a learning experience and a necessary one for anyone who loves the Cayman Islands and is passionate about culture and heritage and conservation and sustainability. And
So give us the other details involved in the scavenger hunt. We need to know the date. What are the teams like? Kind of the hours in the day, what's required of the people participating.
Sure. It is the 21st of June, Saturday, the 21st of June, and we begin promptly at 9 a.m. There's no such thing as island time. We begin promptly at 9 a.m. and we end at 5 p.m. at the Botanic Park. We begin at Regatta Park, and we have teams comprising no more than 5 persons. The registration is just a nominal registration fee of $100 CI, and there are no age restrictions. What else?
As long as you can drive,
As long as you can drive. and we really do want to emphasize it's not a race across the islands. We are concerned about road safety. It's not a race. It's just for education. So you would solve clues. You would have some questionnaires or so to complete. It's really fun and educational, but it's definitely not let's see who gets there the fastest.
It's not about how fast you're driving.
No,
it's about
definitely
how fast your
not.
mind is working
Yes,
in this one.
absolutely.
Okay, so teams of up to 5 people, right?
5 persons, yeah. No age restrictions. Registration is open and available via the Chamber of Commerce website. And you just register your team lead. Each team must have a lead, and we take it from there.
And $100 for up to a team of 5. You can go alone if you want to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, if you're really bold and you think you got all the
Yep.
answers, it'll help.
There's someone there thinking, I'm going to do this
right
now. Yeah.
It's a very not teamish.
Yeah.
It's not team thinking.
No, we
you
do
know,
want
if you feel you
companies,
can.
organizations, ministries, definitely. No one should be doing it alone. That would be nice, but no one should be doing it alone. We want to encourage corporate community to get involved, build team spirit, build education around Cayman for employees you're just onboarding. Lovely way to show them around the island. And
you can have multiple teams, right? If you're a company, you have team 1, team 2.
5 teams each.
Yeah.
It's a good team building and networking
Yes,
thing.
and family.
Absolutely. It's a great experience. A date idea. Maybe not. Maybe not.
No, it could
not
be.
a first date idea.
It could be a good way to see, what kind of person you're dealing with. Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck 8 hours with that person if you don't like them in the first half hour.
Well, then you'll see. You'll definitely know if it's worth going on a second date, right?
Maybe a second date idea, not a first one. But okay, I like this. Is there prizes?
There are.
Absolutely. So, and we're grateful for our sponsors to coming on board. So I just want to do a shout out to our sponsors as well for coming on board, and we'll probably touch on that later. But we have prizes
For the first prize, to the value of, I don't want to say cash prize, but to the value of 1,500 CI for the first prize. And for a second prize, it's 1,000 CI. And then the third prize will be 500 CI, to the value of 500 CI.
To the value
To the value
So
of,
these are, okay, so it's not money.
It's not necessarily money,
So
correct.
we can't say what the prizes are?
Yes, it's part of the mystery of the scavenger hunt.
Okay, but it's to the value of 500,
Correct.
1,000, 1,500. Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Got it, but not necessarily cash.
No.
Okay, but we
And
have to
all
sign up to
proceeds
read
go
the
to the National Trust.
Correct.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
I was hoping I figured that, maybe some admin fees in putting the scavenger hunt on. What about logistically speaking? I know you're working with the National Trust on this, but have you had to, I guess, get permission or other partnerships in order to make the scavenger hunt work?
Correct. So we've made an application with RSIPs just to make them aware, because obviously we're having it on a Saturday, and Saturday mornings are quite precious, or Saturdays and overall quite precious on islands. So we do acknowledge that there'll be probably a lot more cars on, at that time. So we had to kind of make the alert to them to say we will be visiting the National Trust sites, and we've enlisted those sites exactly. The nice thing about our scavenger hunt is that once we've done the safety briefing at Regatta Office Park, then individuals are open to actually take whatever direction they want to start first. So it's not randomized to say you have to start at this particular location. It's not set in stone. So part of the structure of the scavenger hunt is that you'll be able to choose, and you're required to only make 5 minimum visits to any of the National Trust sites that we will have enlisted, with the final location being the Botanic Park. So so that means that we divert a lot of the pressure points in the traffic quite a bit, and having everyone kind of spread out. And they are able to do this within the 3 p.m. mark is what we're saying. We'll be required then to make your way to the Botanic Park. But between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. or 2:30 p.m., you'll be able to roam in whatever direction, however you want to actually do the scavenger hunt itself. So it's not prescribed to say, you have to go to this location first and then that one in the next. So that's one application that we've had to do in terms of the traffic awareness, and in case of emergencies as well, to have their support as well, should anything happen, God forbid. Should anything happen, we have their support as well from that perspective.
What is the structure of a scavenger hunt? Because you said a minimum of 5 sites. So how does this?
We'll give you a little bit of the detail. We don't want to give too much away, but we'll give you some of the details. So the structure of the scavenger hunt is it's going to be a point system based scavenger hunt. So it's not based on time, which is what Genevieve was alluding to, the fact that we're not trying to rush people to, make it to the next location and the next. So we have 5 official National Trust locations or sites, and participants will have the opportunity to visit at minimum 5. So they can always do more than 5. And each of those locations will have challenges, clues, etc., for them to actually accumulate their points. And based on the points that you are getting at each of these locations, you then bring that to the final location, which is the Botanic Park. And that will be for a 3 p.m. cutoff. So if you don't make it by 3 p.m., you're not in the running to get any of the prizes. And then we'll have an evaluation team that will basically collect all the clue sheets from the teams. And then they'll make an evaluation and a score and put it on a scoreboard in terms of who's, kind of like in the running. And we'll have a final challenge at the Botanic Park that kind of like closes off and determines who the winning prizes go up to.
Okay, interesting. For Ashvin, for you to have the National Trust involved, what big takeaway would you want participants to have from this experience?
So I think I want participants to feel a bit more of a connection, like to what Genevieve was saying, like connection to Cayman's natural and built heritage, to see, I guess, like the work that the National Trust does, and maybe to take away a bit of an experience and education on our culture, right? Like that's, if you want to feel and be a part of our community, that's kind of one of the aspects of it, right? I'm just going to say a hint to people. If you download the National Trust app, available on Android and iPhone app stores, it might help you out quite a bit with the scavenger hunt. So if anyone wants an inside scoop, that's a radio exclusive hint there.
Okay, download the National Trust app.
There you go. Yep. That's
okay, all right. So if you want a bit of a hint or a help on your scavenger hunt, that's what to do.
Yep.
Okay. And the sign-ups again, people can go where to sign up, and what is the date again of the scavenger hunt?
It is the 21st of June. We begin promptly at 9 a.m. and you sign up via the Chamber of Commerce website, but you can also follow the National Trust social media, Leadership Cayman social media, as well as the Chamber of Commerce social media, because you don't want to miss any clues.
Right.
So you can sign up via any of these pages. It would take you, reroute you to the Chamber of Commerce website so that you can register. Okay. But we will also be sharing a bit more detail as the time draws nearer via our social media platforms.
And don't forget to download the National Trust app.
Don't forget to do
that. And if there's any last thing that you want to share with our listening audience, take the time to do so. You got maybe a minute.
Yes. I think now is the opportune time to rebrand. It's not just a scavenger hunt, it's Heritage Hunt.
Okay.
So,
Heritage
and our sponsors, we do want to encourage organizations to get involved, but we do want to shout out our platinum sponsors, Zedra and Campbell's. Also, our gold sponsor, the Queen Elizabeth Botanic Park. We would not have been able to have our final event without them. And UCCI fosters A.L. Thompson's Cost You Less, and our supporting partners, the Chamber of Commerce, as well as the National Trust. So,
okay, wonderful.
We hope Radio Cayman will have a team.
Yeah. That sounds like we might have to do it. It sounds pretty cool. We'll see if we can get organized for that. We'll see. OC, if you're listening, I might have you also take project lead on that. How's that? I've got OC entered in a whole bunch of things today. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on The Buzz this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Best of luck on the Heritage Hunt. So now I've got to work on rebranding that in my mind. Thank you for joining us again. And we're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news.
Appreciate it. Bye.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Investigations continue into ongoing property rental scams involving fraudulent rental properties being advertised on social media and classifieds websites. 3 men have been arrested on suspicion of obtaining property by deception. The Hamas-run health ministry says at least 27 people have been killed and 90 injured by Israeli fire while waiting for aid distribution in Rafah in southern Gaza. The Israeli military says it fired shots near an aid complex after identifying, quote, several suspects, and it is examining reports of casualties. BBC Verify is also investigating the incident. A medic in the area tells the BBC of, quote, total carnage and being overwhelmed with casualties. For a third day running, Palestinians have been killed while gathering to collect aid. Israel denied a similar shooting incident on Sunday, which the Hamas-run health ministry said killed 31 people. Israel does not allow international news organizations, including the BBC, into Gaza, making verifying what is happening in the territory difficult. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. I want to know if it's still raining outside. Susan, have a look at those cameras. Is it still really, really bad out there? Okay, a little bit of showers. She's saying a little bit of showers. All right, well, don't forget that rain jacket, your boots or high heels, closed-toed, of course, your umbrella, and that's all right. No problem. No problem. Just stay safe and slow on the roads today because, everybody loses their mind when it rains for some reason. Nobody knows how to drive. I can't figure it out. We have my favorite part of the show, which is Open Line. So let's chat about what is on your mind. You can give me a call at 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, or 949-6990. You can always WhatsApp call or text me at 925-3261. I seem to have left the WhatsApp phone in the other studio, but I will grab it momentarily. So again, that number is 925-3261. And of course, I think I already said the 1-800 toll-free number, but again, 1-800-534-8255. Last week, when I came back from vacation, and my first show was a whole open line the entire time. We spoke about the term limits for non-Caymanians, and I think that was a show that had probably some of the most phone calls and text messages that came in. So I know y'all got things to talk about and things that are on your mind. And thank you to those who helped save my voice that day. As you can hear, it is coming back slowly, but no coughing fits are happening this morning. We're feeling a lot better. Even though it was a busy, busy weekend for me, and I thought, oh man, my sickness is not going to go away. It's going away a little bit. But it was a busy weekend for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people in Cayman. There was a networking social put on by the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association, of which I am on the board. So, I'm going to plug my board. I'm going to plug the SIMPA board. And we do have a new board, which got voted in February. So on Friday, we had a community social, networking social, where we basically were unveiling parts of the plans for SIMPA's upcoming year. And I'm also going to take the chance to plug the first training the SIMPA is holding, which is going to be on June 12th. And it's focusing on AI tools in marketing. You can check out more info at SIMPA KY social media pages, or you can just ask me. But if you're a marketer or if you're somebody that does some marketing for your company, there's a whole lot of different AI programs out there that help teach you, depending on what kind of marketing you're trying to do. They can kind of help teach you, streamline, make your marketing efforts a little easier, streamline them. Check out our training. I know when we had a Chat GPT training, that was absolutely insane. It was overbooked. It was great. I had so much great feedback from people that had never used ChatGPT, were very resistant against using it, who use it now every single day and absolutely love that training. So check that out if you are interested. There was also a really huge concert over the weekend. Thousands of people. Somebody said around 6,000 people. I don't know. I cannot look at an audience that size and engage it. But I did attend the Out of This World concert with headliner Ludacris. We had also Shensia performing and local artists like The Is, Jeffrey Wilson, Rico Rolando, Georgie, is it Duarte? I'm sorry, I might have gotten your last name wrong. Anyways, a whole bunch of local artists as well. Our very own DJ Lynn had a set. Great to see him back at a big event like that. Shelling music as always. And I think, so when I got there, it was the local artist segment that had already begun. It was happening. And I think one of my favorite things was I got there when The Is was performing. So it was great to see the Cottrell brothers come back out. It was great to see JG come out and do his thing as well. And it was kind of funny because when I looked at JG was all there in like a faux leather outfit. And I was like, but hold on, which JG is this? I feel like JG has different performing artist looks. So he came with his old kind of is look back in the day, but JG has some different artist looks as well. So I think I was a little taken back, but in a good way. I was like, okay, I like his fit out here on stage tonight. Everybody did really, really well. It was beautiful to see. I think Peter Campbell came out there, so shout out in the Department of Comms. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And he's probably listening, and they're probably like, oh, really, Peter? Neptune performed. There was a whole bunch of local artists that performed, and they did great. So to have them in front of such a huge crowd and to see the love that Cayman had for their local artists who are opening up for right before Shensia is coming on and right before Ludacris is coming on, it was a beautiful thing to see the support, to see all those people singing in the audience to the local music. So when people are saying that the local artists aren't getting the love and people don't really know their songs, that's a lie. They were very well received at the Out of This World concert, and it was a beautiful thing to see. It was a really great vibe, really good energy. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice, clean, very entertaining night. So shout out to Selector Renegade and his team for putting on what was a great, great event. And shout out to AI Rentals, because wow, that whole stage setup, the sound system setup, AI Rentals, you absolutely killed it. So that's a big shout out to Keith Tibbetts as well and his team at AI Rentals. Great event, great night. We can work on how the bar setup is. It's always going to be my complaint at events. When you are having thousands of people, you got to have more than one bar in the VIP area. You just, come on. It has to happen with more than 8 bartenders. That would probably be my one thing that I'm like, that didn't pan out that well. Moving on from that, we are now officially in hurricane season. It kicked off on Saturday, June 1st. And last month also kicked off Preparedness Month. So Hazard Management and its many partners and agencies it works alongside during disaster and relief efforts, they continue to bring us some of the most up-to-date information, and they'll be joining me this Thursday, along with some utilities providers, to discuss how all these services work together when disaster hits, what the plans of action are and their priorities are, and what to expect during restoration periods. So that's on Thursday with me. We're going to have Hazard Management back in the studio. We're still talking about Preparedness Month, even though we have already just entered hurricane season as of Saturday, June 1st. Also joining me in the first half hour of the show on Thursday, June 5th, is the Premier, the Honourable Andre Ebanks. So we're going to be having him on the buzz from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I believe it's his first official interview, like sit-down interview in studio with Radio Cayman. I know OC did speak to him officially once he was sworn in as Premier when the government formed. I forget the date. Was that Tuesday the 6th of May? I'm going to go with that. That could be a wrong date completely. But once the entire new government was sworn in, I know that OC did talk with the Premier then on Radio Cayman. So I'm excited to have Premier Andre Ebanks on the show with me Thursday morning. We only get 30 minutes with him. So in saying that, if you have questions for the Premier that you would like me to ask, you can WhatsApp those questions. WhatsApp them to 925-3261. We're going to hear what the government is working on. We know that there's been some new developments that they came right out the gate with. So we know that. We know that there's some other short-term goals that they're going to be hitting us with really soon that they're trying to reach. And since we know they came out swinging when they announced the term limits for non-Caymanian civil servants, I expect some other head-turning reform and changes to happen, and hopefully we'll hear from the Premier on what those changes are in the first 30 minutes of Thursday's show on The Buzz. There's some other news happening from governments, and I think I'm going to read this press release before we go to the next break. So, for some other news in a press release issued yesterday on gov.ky, medicals are now required for all temporary work permit applications. Now, I thought this was always a thing, so I don't know when it did not become a thing, but it's back. So, regardless, you need a medical for a temporary work permit application. The press release reads, Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman will now require the submission of a medical declaration cover letter for all temporary work permit applications. This requirement will become effective on the 1st of July in accordance with the Immigration Transition Act and relevant regulations. The submission of a medical declaration cover letter continues to be mandatory for other facilities that work processes. Applicants are encouraged to pay special attention to the checklist of requirements attached to all application forms available on work.ky. And just to interject, all application forms actually do not have all the checklist items required for whatever you're applying for at work. I'm going to repeat, not all checklist items are there. I've had my own unpleasant experience in understanding that. Back to the press release. Applications received after the 1st of July without the required medical declaration cover letter will not be accepted for processing. The public is reminded that only medicals completed by practitioners fully registered as a medical doctor from the following countries will be accepted: the Cayman Islands, the UK, the United States, or Canada. For individuals coming from other countries not listed, a medical declaration cover letter is still required upon submission. If the work permit is approved, approval will be contingent upon the applicant completing the necessary medical tests in the Cayman Islands within 7 days of arrival. Persons with questions or queries can review frequently asked questions on work.ky or contact customer care by calling 945-9672 or toll free at 1-800-534-9672. That is the end of the press release. So, you need a medical declaration letter from a registered medical doctor only within the countries of the Cayman Islands, the UK, the United States, or Canada. If you're coming from any other country, you still need a medical declaration cover letter by your doctor in that country. And when you get to the Cayman Islands, within 7 days, you need to do another medical test. So that's interesting. And we have plenty of doctors who work here, particularly from Jamaica and India, but we don't trust medicals performed by doctors within these countries. Like, what is the reasoning? What is the reasoning for that? What is the reasoning in asking people to do a medical test and then asking them to do another medical test when they get here? I would like to know the reasoning in that. So we're going to move on to the commercial break. A couple of other things to talk about after the break, but let's hear from some of our show sponsors first.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, sponsored by CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
We are in the hurricane season, and knowing what to do after a hurricane can be as important as preparing for the storm. After the passage of a hurricane, seek medical attention if it is needed at hospitals and clinics for those persons who are injured. Do not touch power lines and cables that are down. They may be active. Report them to 911 or the utilities emergency hotlines. Broken tree limbs should be removed from around homes or buildings if possible. This hurricane information has been brought to you by Breeze FM and Radio Cayman.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we do have some open line right now. You are welcome to call me, chat to me, let me know what's on your mind. Give me a call at 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call or text me at 925-3261. I do have the WhatsApp phone on me now, so I will get your messages. So we had just come back from the break, and previously I was talking about how medicals are now needed for temporary work permit applications, which I didn't know that went away, but it's back. So regardless, it is back. In other news, the public consultation on the Cayman Islands Airport redevelopment plans comes to a close on Friday. Oh, I was about to get into the airport plans, but we do have a caller, so let us take the call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz.
Good morning, Miss Kathy.
How are you?
Not bad.
Always good to hear from you. Let's hear what's on your mind.
I think you'd make a good musician, you know.
No, you don't want to hear me singing.
You get some lessons from JG.
Man, he's such a talent. What a talented artist JG is, man.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me something. Have you said that the premiere will be on tomorrow, right?
No, on Thursday.
Oh, tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yes.
Right. Oh, okay.
You got some questions you want me to ask him?
No, I was just really excited to hear what he has to say. You know, I just want to hear from our representatives here, hear what their plans are and that sort of thing. You know.
Me too. I think a lot of us want to hear them a lot more on Radio Cayman.
Yeah. I mean, they just got in office, but you know, I think a lot of people are excited to hear what good things they have to say, because you know, it's good things in my opinion.
I think so. There's some changes definitely happening. So we know that they, as I said, they came out the gate swinging. So we know that other plans. So I think for me, I want to know what the kind of immediate short and medium plans are. And when it comes to the capital expenditure, are we rolling back on that at all? Considering the deficit that we're projected to be dealing with, right?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
So
but,
it should be interesting.
But think about what I said, Miss Kathy. I think you'd make a good musician. I think you'd make a good singer. So check it out.
All right, but I don't think Bob Dylan could necessarily carry a tune, but the man could sing at the same time. So if I could emulate a career like him, maybe. We'll see.
Who's that?
I said Bob Dylan.
Oh. Yeah. That might work.
You know, auto-tune is a thing these days, so, or it's been a thing. So, you know, I love singing, but I'm not a singer. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but you practice makes perfect. You know, that's how it is.
That's true.
Yeah, you keep going at it, and until you get better and better and better. Who knows how far you get with that? You know. And you're working at a radio station, so you got an advantage.
That's true. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep it in mind, though. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Like it's hot.
We will see. We will see.
Drop a single.
Well,
all right.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. I appreciate it. And I'll keep it in mind in case I need to change careers. I'll talk to management to see what they have to say. Maybe I can launch it here. But thanks for sharing your thoughts, and I hope you do tune in with us on Thursday morning as well to hear when we have the premiere on at 7:30.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully I catch it, yeah. All right.
All right, thanks for your call. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, thanks to our caller there. So a singer, can we hear me being a singer, guys? I don't know about that one. And most of the time when I'm singing, I'm not singing the right lyrics anyways, so... You cannot depend on me to even be singing my own lyrics. So I don't know about that career path for me, but I appreciate the thought. I want to get into a discussion on the Cayman Islands Airport redevelopment plans. As I had mentioned right before the caller, the public consultation for the airport redevelopment plans comes to a close on Friday. So there have been some great developments that are underway concerning our islands' aviation infrastructure, and you have about 4 days, including today, left to have your say. So the Cayman Islands Airport Authority or the CIAA, has initiated a public consultation process on the draft terms of reference for the environmental impact assessments related to the proposed redevelopment projects at our three main airports, the Owen Roberts International Airport in Grand Cayman, the Charles Kirkconnell International Airport in the BRAC, and the Edward Bodden Airfield in Little Cayman. These initiatives are part of the CIA's 2041 Airports Master Plan, aiming for long-term sustainable development of our airport facilities. This is supposed to be a 20-year plan, hence the 2041 Airports Master Plan. The projects under review include a runway extension at Owen Roberts International Airport, which is a proposed extension of the runway to accommodate larger aircraft and enhance international connectivity. The relocation of Edward Bodden Airfield, Little Caymans. There's a proposal to move the existing airfield to a new location to meet safety and operational standards. And then there's the runway strip widening at the Charles Kirkconnell International Airport in the BRAC. Plans to widen the runway strip to improve safety and accommodate future aviation needs. The CIAA, in collaboration with the Environmental Assessment Board, has developed draft terms of reference to guide the EIAs for each project. These documents outline the scope and methodology for assessing potential environmental impacts, ensuring that development aligns with sustainability goals and community interests. The public consultation period began May 16th and runs till June 6th, which is this Friday. Residents are encouraged to review the draft terms of reference and to provide feedback. Your input is vital in shaping the future of the island's aviation infrastructure. To participate in the consultation and to access the draft terms of reference, visit the CIAA's official website at caymanairports.com. I really hope this is not the first time you're hearing about the public consultation on the terms of reference for the proposed redevelopment of the three airports, the proposed projects with that. caymanairports.com. Please go visit the draft terms of reference. Your input absolutely matters. We know this, guys. We just had an election where people came out and gave their input on three big matters that have to do with decriminalizing ganja, creating cruise berthing infrastructure, and allowing gambling to go on in Cayman. So we know that your input matters in helping to shape the government's priorities and direction. However, these airport redevelopment projects, they have sparked significant public concern over environmental impacts and financial justification. And this is where I want your feedback. Now, I know we only have a few minutes left and you may not be able to call in or text me what your feedback is, but at least have a think about it. And remember, you have a few days to give your input via the public consultation. So one of the major proposals involves extending the runway at Owen Roberts International Airport by 1,900 feet into the North Sound at an estimated cost of nearly $28 million. Some argue that this expansion lacks justification, especially since there are reportedly no existing agreements with European airlines to initiate direct flights to Cayman. My question is, what about other airlines within the Western Hemisphere or North America or Central or South America? What about these airlines? Are there bigger airlines that this could also accommodate, or are we just looking at the European airlines, which I think we should be at least looking at the European airlines as well, at least. Now, in Little Cayman, residents have expressed strong opposition to relocating the Edward Bodden Airfield to an undeveloped central area of the island. Concerns include potential environmental degradation and unwanted development that could alter the island's character. Once the consultation period concludes, which is Friday, the government will wait on the data and sift through reports before making any final decisions on these projects, signaling a potential shift towards more environmentally and fiscally responsible planning. It's not a 100% we're going to go through with this, even though the proposal's been there for quite a few years. But they're going to be looking at all the data points that come in and deciding how to go. Is this a priority for us to do right now? Is it justified? So some key points to remember or to consider are the environmental concerns, the potential impacts on marine ecosystems, particularly regarding the proposed runway extension into the North Sound, the financial justification, debating over the necessity and cost effectiveness of the airport expansions, especially in the absence of secured airline agreements, and the community opposition, considering the strong resistance from Little Cayman residents against relocating the airfield. Their input matters so much into the direction of what's going to happen in Little Cayman. How is that input going to change what could happen in Grand Cayman or Cayman Brac? So some questions for our listeners. If you're going to join in the public consultation, you want to think about this a little bit more, but some questions to toss around that I would have loved to hear from you on are the financial impact. Is the Owen Roberts runway expansion a necessity and cost effective, given there is allegedly no agreements with European airlines to service Cayman? Another question is, what role should local communities play in deciding large-scale development projects? How much of a voice should those people have, the local community have? What are the options for Little Cayman? Relocate or renovate the existing current airfield that they have? What is the medium and long-term development plan for Little Cayman? The economic impact. How do you perceive the potential economic benefits versus the costs of these redevelopment projects? And what are your expectations for the future of air travel and infrastructure in the Cayman Islands? Remember, this plan, this Grand Airport plan, is 20 years into the future. That's what it's looking at. So if you are joining the public consultation on the Cayman Islands Airport redevelopment plans, which comes to a close on Friday, these are some things to think about. But remember, go to CaymanAirports.com if you want to have a look at the plans, weigh in on what the proposals are saying, and give your input, because what you say does matter. It will help shape the direction that the government will take in approaching the redevelopment plans. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on The Buzz. It was a pleasure to have all my guests from the Kiwanis Club to Leadership Cayman, the National Trust, to be able to talking to you a little bit, reminding you about the public consultation on the Cayman Islands Airport redevelopment plans, letting you know how the weekend went, letting you know to stay safe, stay dry. Take your time on the roads on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Have a good rest of the week. We are now in hurricane season. Don't forget, Thursday morning, 7:30 a.m., the Premier will be joining me first time officially in his new role as the Premier in studio at Radio Cayman. And then we do have hazard management that will be joining me after that. All right. Have a wonderful Tuesday, everybody.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more info.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is